So I'm pretty excited for Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera this weekend. And in preparation for that, I've been watching back some of Sean O'Malley's old fights, including his finish over Aljamain Sterling. And one of the questions I had at the time, something that kind of bothered me, was how good was that stoppage over Aljamain Sterling? And how much was it ruined by notorious early stoppage merchant and title fight ruiner Mark Goddard? So I went back and looked through some of the footage to try and get a better picture of whether or not the stoppage was really all that justified. Whenever I think about this fight, there's one of two images that come to mind. The first is that picture-perfect right hand of Sean O'Malley's that put down Aljamain Sterling and led to the finishing sequence. And the second is Aljamain Sterling on the ground, sort of protesting the stoppage to Mark Goddard immediately after Mark Goddard stopped the fight. So let's go through and take a look at all the strikes that Sean landed and figure out if Mark Goddard was right in making this stoppage. Just to bring you guys up to the sequence, here's that picture-perfect right hand that Sean lands. He knocks Aljamain Sterling down to the ground, and at first he sort of starts backing up because he thinks that Aljo might still be shooting the takedown. Once he realizes that he's got Aljo hurt, he goes into offensive mode here and begins stalking Aljo on the ground. The first thing he lands is a weak left hammer fist, followed up by a left hammer fist that just barely hits Aljamain Sterling. Then a nice hammer fist that bounces Aljo's head back, and then another hammer fist that lands clean while Aljamain goes full fetus mode. Another clean hammer fist to follow up, and then Sean stands up just a little too far and gives Aljo a little bit too much space, allowing Aljo to get his foot in here and begin to try to defend himself. His hammer fist just misses, and Aljo gets that leg in. Then a straight right lands on the other side of Aljo's face, but still knocks his head into the mat. Clearly Aljo was not able to defend himself here. Then Sean lands with his left forearm and knocks Aljo's head down, and Aljo has lost any defensive control at this point. Sean lands a big right that slams Aljo's head into the mat. Then he whiffs a left hand. Then he lands a left hammer fist. And you can see that Aljo still can't quite make use of his guard at all here, as Sean moves around, whiffs another right hammer fist. Then Aljo tries to throw up some sort of defense, while Sean misses another hammer fist here. Then here comes the finish here. Sean lands another big hammer fist. Then that big right hand, you can see him winding up here. Bam! Knocks Aljo right into the mat. Then another left hammer fist, and another one, and another here. And then here is the last one. You can see Mark Goddard's foot is off the mat. This is where he is leaping in to get Sean O'Malley off of Aljamain Sterling. Here's it from another angle here, and it does not look good. Now at this point, here is where Mark Goddard is leaping in. This is the point where he has seen enough and has decided to stop the fight. And looking at Aljamain Sterling on the ground in this moment, I do think that it is pretty understandable. Now there he is pushing Sean O'Malley off, and when I went back and counted them, there was 15 landed unanswered strikes from Sean O'Malley to Aljamain Sterling's head on the ground. A few of them were pretty big, and even though Aljamain then proceeds to get back up and protest the stoppage, and obviously we all saw him roll over and get on his hands and knees right as soon as Mark Goddard pushed Sean O'Malley off, I do think that at that moment that Mark Goddard stepped in, there was enough consecutive unanswered strikes, and Aljamain Sterling was not putting up enough of an intelligent defense that we could justify stopping the fight at this point. Do I think that Aljamain might have survived if Mark Goddard had not stepped in? Yeah, I think it's entirely possible based on what we saw after the fact, but I also think that the stoppage was entirely justified. Now, from this point here, if you can go watch this video on YouTube where Aljamain is protesting and Mark Goddard has just stopped the fight, Aljamain actually stays on the ground for quite a while. You can watch the entire video all the way to about this point right here, and there you see Aljamain. We can actually watch him just standing up at this moment. It's about 52 seconds after Mark Goddard pushed Sean O'Malley off of him that Aljamain first stands up. Now, obviously, he might be there catching his breath and all that, but if he's seriously protesting the fight, then you'd think that he would be standing up right away. But he stays on the ground for quite a while, apparently just taking time to get his composure and make sure that when he does stand back up, he's not going to be wobbling all over the place and looking like a fool. So I think this was a good stoppage, even though Aljamain might have survived after the fact. I don't think he would have. And I hope that Sean O'Malley went home to his 50-year-old goblin ass looking baby mama and gave her a real good red panty night.